So you went all in, opened up your space, got kicked in the shins from COVID, had to shut down, opened up, and then had to go all in again, move the space, start over from scratch. This is like year two of the second time around, right? Like it's crazy.
When people are paying a premium membership, they respect your brand. They treat your services and your club with more respect. It got to a point where we were actually sneaking people in through the back door and training people in the dark just with LED lights on.
Oh, that's my wrong one. Wrong one.
There
It's
you
been
go.
a while
That one
since we
works,
played
though.
that one.
I like that one.
Hello and welcome to Gym World Worldwide. I am your host, John Franklin, coming at you with my co-host, Mateo Lopez, in LA, right? And in true show fashion, we are going with a third time zone all the way from Australia. Our very special guest, Simon Anderson of SOMA Health and Wellness. Welcome, man.
Thank you very much. How are you guys?
Yeah. We hunted you down, man. We're constantly on the lookout for interesting stuff, stuff that catches our eyes on the internet. And you got one of the best looking gyms in the world, man. Can you tell us a little bit about what you got going on?
Well, yeah. Firstly, thank you. It's a nice to hear that. Look, we've got a high-end boutique health and wellness club designed for corporate professionals, predominantly being based in the financial district in Sydney CBD. But we also cater for anyone that just likes the nicer things in life, really. We've had quite a few celebrities come in over from LA, America. Over the years, we have Rufus, the Soul, the artists. They come and train there every time they're in Sydney, so we've got a good connection with them. But yeah, we're a club that's designed to quite heavy on personal training. We also have Reformer Pilates. We do offer some other classes like group circuit classes like a HIIT class, strength, stretch and mobility, and a full recovery center. So 3 infrared saunas, a traditional Finnish sauna, and a magnesium cold plunge. So it's a well-rounded boutique experience. So effectively, we've got a physiotherapist and osteo and remedial sports massage as well as a concierge service. So it has a little bit of everything for everyone.
Yeah, can you break it down for people? How big is the space? How many rooms? You mentioned some of the services, but basically, how does it all work when it comes to like clients and membership?
Yeah, so it's about 700 square meters. So the gym itself would be probably about 280 square meters. And then we've got a few treatment rooms. As I said, osteo, physio, massage. We have a consultation room for all the personal trainers with body composition scanned. So all our clients get scanned regularly. We have our own SOMA PT app. So everyone's following a structured program. They're getting their nutrition, their calories. They get their coach checks in with them on a weekly basis. We give daily targets to our clientele, whether it's, sleep, nutrition, steps, hydration, whatever it may be. And then the Reformer Pilates studio is our largest space in terms of for group classes. So that's what we really sort of specialize in. We do around 6 to 7 classes a day there. Unfortunately, the website, we're in the process of just updating it. So it's a little bit out of date, but yeah, we're about a week away from getting that launched, unfortunately. But yeah, social media, we get a better idea. And then we have fully equipped change rooms. So we have all the latest Dysons. It's all, beautiful marble benching, and yep, there you can go. And then we also have a recovery center, which you should have some photos on there as well. The recovery center, as I said, that's the traditional sauna down there.
This is a floor space here. No,
this is some of the floor space, dumbbells. It's, as you can see, it's the mooding, the lighting is very moody, ambient. It's sort of not a nightclub, but it does give off that vibe in some of the weights areas. A lot of gyms you walk into, they're very bright, in your face. People don't want to see that much of them. Like the lighting's too overdone. Where we've gone for something that's very, very That's just our partners. We often do social events for our members. A lot of our members like to network with one another, meet one another. Obviously, we've got a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners in there. That's the Reformer Studio.
Yeah, it looks like everyone
And
that works out here is like very good looking and rich. That's the vibe. Was that the vibe you were going for?
it does come
That's
off.
what
I
I'm
mean,
feeling.
look, you don't have to be good looking. Rich helps, definitely.
Well, that's what they pay you for. You make
Yeah,
them good
exactly,
looking.
exactly. But yeah, no, look, we do have a lot of our members, I'd say, would be sort of, medium age would be 40 to 50 years old. So that's the people that we're trying to sort of look after. I mean, not saying that you have to be that age. We do have people that are 18, 21 years old that come and get personal training there 3-4 times a week and work out on their own accord. So
they
as
have
I said,
rich parents. That's what
exactly. That's usually what's happening there. The parents are paying, yeah. So yeah, but we have quite a few families that come in. I train a family, and each day someone will rock up, whether it's one of the daughters or the son or the dad or the mum, and it's a good family environment. It's not just for your C-suiters.
Yeah.
So speaking of them, right? I mean, you have a very interesting background than a lot of the other gym owners we have on here. You worked on yachts, right? You were also a
Yep.
chef. Is that correct?
Correct,
So
yeah.
I guess what were some of the things that you learned in fine dining and in the service industry, especially working with this kind of clientele, that you applied to SOMA?
Yeah, well, it gave me a very good experience, as you say, working in fine dining restaurants. I worked. There's a restaurant in Hamilton Island called Qualia, which is one of the best restaurants probably in Australia. It's a beautiful island restaurant, and it's that gave me quite a lot of experience in terms of servicing, and I cooked for Pink, the singer, and her husband. The motocross, what's his Gary Hart, I think his name, and Dr. Phil came there, flown in helicopter and everything. So I got to mix with these type of people from a younger age, and then I really liked that type of surroundings and being. It's obviously makes you top of your game, and that's what I always wanted to achieve, whatever field I was in. And it's interesting. You learn a lot from these type of people, and just not necessarily just celebrities, but being around high, net worth individuals. You do hear some pretty cool stories, and it's pretty inspiring. So that definitely helped me start it. And then from there, I went over to Fort Lauderdale. I did my training to become into the super yacht industry. And the first boat I was on was a couple of CEOs from New York, and that just opened up my eyes completely to a different world. A private boat that's worth sort of $35 million, and you've got about 8 staff on there full time, and just what they can do and where you can do. The world's your oyster when you've got that type of money, and I just loved every moment of it, and thought, why not bring this experience and skill set into a gym environment where usually these type of clientele don't feel comfortable going to a big chain gym where there's a lot of bigger guys throwing weights around, making noise. That's intimidating for them. They're used to being on top of their game and being the senior leader, the big dog in their area. And then when they go to a gym, they feel like this is sort of bringing them, back down to the ground. It's not where they feel comfortable. So the concept was find a place where they feel comfortable to train, which sort of feels like you're in a 5-star hotel environment. You walk in, you've got a nice scent in the air, you've got a beautiful concierge greeting you, handing you a towel, knowing you by your first name, welcome. A lot of our members are hugging our concierge, kissing our concierge on a daily basis. You know what I mean? This is pretty cool. So it's also brought in a very close community. And, if ever they need anything, they call. We've got phones in the bathrooms, recovery area. If they need a towel, if they need some assistance, they call up. We're there for them straight away. And that experience goes on throughout the gym, from meeting their personal trainers, just the little things, taking their towels, filling their bottles up, giving them water, making sure they're, how are you feeling? How much sleep have you had? How stressed are you at the moment? Can we push you today? Let's look at your heart rate. Let's get a whoop on you. That's the type of level and depth we want to go into to make sure we're doing exactly what they need and how far we can push them without pushing them too far. Because obviously most of these people are already highly stressed. Going out a lot, drinking more than the average person. So yeah.
Let's so I pulled up, I forgot there were some photos in the docket. So for you guys
Yes.
watching, you can see, if you're on the podcast, you can go over to YouTube and take some looks here. But yeah, it looks like, it really does look like a fancy hotel. And then the training floor looks, and the Pilates studio is beautiful. Here's your sauna.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. That's good looking. And then I'm just saying, wow, Teo, can you use some words? Can you use some of that big Ivy League vocabulary you have to string together what you're seeing here?
It's beautiful. I mean, there's not really much else to say. It's a beautiful space. And I think what's unique about it is, like, we have seen kind of what you're describing, like gyms that are certainly clean and chic, but like it's still kind of like the lighting isn't kind of, it's still like a gym, right? Or you kind of have the extreme opposite where it's very much like a nightclub and there's like flashing lights and neon everywhere, but that's still not quite what you have going on here, which it really does feel like a hotel or a restaurant, or like a fine dining restaurant, where the lighting is, it's intentional, it's intimate, and it's cool. It really feels like a cool space when you walk through, but obviously still functional. It's still a gym. It's still a yoga studio. It's still a place to work out. So you really have like kind of done this amazing balance to create this really unique gym.
Thank you. At the beginning, it nearly backfired on us in terms of people walk past and
give us the timeline, because you've also moved locations, right?
Yeah, we opened in 2019 in September. A lot of people, we're in an A-grade building in Sydney, which is, a very iconic building. That's where we started. It's called Chifley Tower. A lot of investment bankers, lawyers, barristers, that type of vibe. A lot of people walk past us and think we're a high-end restaurant or a high-end spa or a jewelry shop. We got all sorts of, misconceptions of what is it. And we got the concept, like ideas from London and New York, if you think of Equinox or, even Soho House and vibes like that, and sort of tried to create something that's obviously unique to Sydney and Australia. Because if you looked at a lot of the gyms, everyone was trying to go cheaper to attract people, where we sort of went the opposite direction and went high end at a higher price point. So we started off on $88 a week. And people would walk past you and say, "Oh, you're that expensive gym. Oh, you're too expensive. Who's going to pay $88 a week?" And so we got a little bit of a bad reputation. So it was a slow start. We opened the doors. We had no pre-sales. We had no members. We had a lot of staff. We had too many staff. And we're like, shit, we're going to do something here. So we had to let a lot of staff go. Myself and my business partner, Franco, we were personal trainers doing 40 sessions a week. We were running reception. I was doing sales. We were doing maintenance. We were working from 5:30 a.m. every day till 9 p.m. every night, 6 days a week. I had a good sort of work ethic from also being in hospitality and being a chef and working on super yachts and stuff, because when you're there, you're working around the clock. So
you're used to that grind already.
Yeah, exactly. That helped. And then we had to drop the price. We had to, get some people through the door. And come March 20, we went up to about 375 members quite quickly. And then come March, COVID hit. We shut down for about four or 5 weeks, came back strong. We sort of pivoted. We went online. We went to people's houses. We, we're training people in the park. It got to a point where we were actually sneaking people in through the back door and training people in the dark, just with LED lights on. And funny enough, these are some of Sydney's top barristers, so I definitely won't drop names, but
you keep that close to the chest.
Yeah, because you'd have police come and knock on your door to see if anyone was in there and stuff. You know what I mean? It was weird times, very interesting, weird times. but to stay afloat, you got to do what you got to do sometimes, right? So we grinded. We just did what we could, and then opened again and went strong. And then about 6 weeks later, we got shut down again with COVID. And then from there, it was much harder because everyone got sent home to work from home. So offices pivoted. They changed all their systems and set them up where their IT systems where they can work from home now. So for us being a gym in the CBD, that hurt. A lot of people couldn't even go to the gym, and then if they did go to a gym, they'll join a gym, near their homes in suburban areas where it's more convenient for them. Because at the end of the day, convenience is key, right? Although we have built more of a reputation now for, a place where people will travel to come to see
more of a
you.
Destination.
Destination is the word, yeah, for sure. So that's definitely grown. But then we came back and it was slow. It was tough. There was a gym across the road from us that had been there for 10 years. They didn't open their doors again. We had F45 headquarters move in next door to us. They didn't open their doors again. They tried. So there was gyms dropping left, right, and center around us. And these are big established brands and names, right? I think the one thing that really helped us was our members being in a position where they do have a little bit more money, and a lot of them kept their memberships running. So they just said, we're here to support you. We a local community vibe, a local small business. We see what you guys are doing, and we've built some connection. It hasn't been long, but they helped us going. So they helped us push through. And then like the building, we had to pay $120,000 back in the rears in rent. So that hurt. So, we're in a tough time. Then we heard that the building we're in got bought out by a different company called Charter Hall, and that there was 2 towers. It's like twin towers, but one tower was smaller. So we were in a retail precinct, which was the smaller tower. And when this building the Charter Hall bought the other building for $900 million, they saw the airspace and thought, we're going to utilize this airspace and build up. So we caught wind of it and thought, okay, this is going to hurt us because we're in a 10-year lease. We've only been there for 2 years, and now they're going to have to kick us out. So we ended up doing 4.5 years by the time they got all the approvals and everything. And we did get paid a little bit of money, which sort of helped change locations, because with COVID, all prices went up about 35 to 40% in terms of the building industry, right? So our current builds in Chifley Tower was around 1.6, 1.7 million to do that fit out. Our current fit out was around 3.2 million. So that's how much it went up in about 4.5 years. That's not including equipment or anything. That's just, the interior of the gym. So
the fancy lighting costs some money then.
Exactly. There's a lot of brass, man. There's a lot of brass. It's not cheap. There's some nice wooden finishes. There's a lot of Calcutta marble. There's some nice tapware. There's as I said, it's like building a 5-star hotel room, right? So, but again, we had a short timeline. The good thing for us was we needed to find a space to move, because we had 2 big gyms about the exact same size as us, between 650 to 700 square meters, closed their doors due to COVID. We had 2 locations to choose from directly across the road from us. So obviously, if we had to move too far, we're going to lose members. It's not convenient for people. We had 6 months to do all this. That's how much notice they gave us in our lease to get out and find a place. So we found a place that was underneath the Sofitel Wentworth, which is a 5-star hotel. They said, we'll pay you $10,000 a month as a retainer for our guests to use your club. But if you come into the club, I could tell you exactly who's a SOMA member and who's a hotel guest without even knowing them. You know what I mean? So we thought, because we did a little bit of this through COVID, they didn't have a gym, or their gym closed down. So they started using us. And we thought, this isn't really going to keep our premium, boutique high standard brand that we want. Because when people are paying a premium membership, they respect your brand. They treat your services and your club with more respect. But when you're just getting people come in, drop in, etc., you don't get that same sort of, respect and entitlement. So as much as enticing as it was, we thought this, it's easy money. Let's do that. But then we started to do the design. We spent about $40,000 on the design, and then we pulled the pin last minute and said, "Nah, we can't do this." We thought it's really going to, in the long run, is going to send us in the opposite direction. So we pulled the pin. F45, their headquarters, they went under. We said, we're going to take that site. The funny thing about this site, it has been known as a graveyard of gyms. So there's been about 5 gyms in this one site, and every gym that goes there to die, unfortunately. And so it had this conception of this is where you go to finish your career kind of
Right.
thing.
It's cursed.
It's cursed, exactly. So that was one of the biggest things that sort of, we didn't want to do it. This area, it's a good area, but it's sort of on the border. There's not much happening. So we spoke to the landlords, and we came together. And there's an outdoor courtyard just outside from our gym, and they redid the courtyard. They put seating in there. They put gardens in. They put bench seatings in there. It's got like a big glass roof, so it's catered for all weather. There's another local cafe and restaurant that we partnered. We had good connections with, partnership with, in Chifley Tower. They opened up right next to us. They moved next to us as well. So this whole area came back to life. So we took on that space. It's got more natural light for us. It's on ground level, a lot more exposure for people walking by. And we went from about 330 members to about 560 members in 9 months. So a good growth. We went from charging around $76 a week to $88 a week. Now we're charging $96 a week. And in January, we're going up to $111 a week. I think for what we offer, we're worth that much. It's not like it's expensive. You get unlimited access to recovery centers. You get towel service. You got Pilates classes. You got top tier PTs. You got the best caliber of coaches and staff, and in a beautiful environment, right? So people are happy to pay a little bit more for hygiene, cleanliness, service, and to feel comfortable, to go somewhere you want to go, where a lot of people see going to the gym as a chore or a burden, and it's not clean, it's dirty, and it's gross. Where if you go somewhere where it's like going to a 5-star hotel, you look forward to going there, right? Staying in there. So that's what we wanted to try to recreate in a gym environment.
And so you mentioned it before, but I had to talk to ChatGPT to get the calculations. You said the gym space is 700 square meters, correct? The total space?
Yeah.
So for those listening at home, that's only about 7,500 square feet. So this is not, he said he got inspiration from some of the US UK clubs like Equinoxes, which are huge. This is a manageable space to bite off for your average gym owner. Build out, not so much, but we're not talking a 75,000 square foot mega gym here. It is a smaller.
It's not a lifetime.
It's meant to feel as like a membership club instead of this large kind of like country club, I guess.
Exactly. It's a private boutique members lounge. I sort of explain it as. Yeah, as you say, it's not huge. I'd say we will cap memberships around the 650 to 700 max. That's what capacity will hold, I'd say.
Well, that's that would be one of my concerns, is like, because you guys are at what, 400 or 500 members at this point?
Yeah, about 560.
So you're charging a premium, but as John mentioned, it's not the biggest space in the world. My concern would be you're charging a premium, but with the space, and you have 500 members, how busy does it get? I would feel kind of put off if I'm paying this premium price, but I still have to end up waiting to use the squat rack, for example. So how does that kind of work?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it sounds like a lot of members, doesn't it, for that size space? But predominantly, a lot of our members aren't heavy users. So if you think of your typical, big chain gyms and et cetera in America, most of these people will go 5, sometimes 6 days a week, right? Our users might be an average of 2 to 3 times a week. So it's a different type of clientele you're tapping into. So obviously they see the benefit. They're more doing it for a lot of, obviously postural correction, improved core, glute stability, all that kind of stuff, mobility, flexibility. They're not going there to get big, to get huge. That's not their goals. It's feel better physically, but also very much mentally. So a lot of, these guys and girls are 50, 60 years old. They twice a week is enough for them. And they will only come in to see a PT 2 to 3 times a week. And that's it. So there's a good proportion of members that just do that, will just come in to see a PT. There's another good portion of members that will just come in to do reformer Pilates. And then you have, that other sort of 30, 40% of members that will do the whole, a little bit of everything. 1 or 2 days of reformer, 1 day of personal training, and then maybe 1 day just using the gym on their own accord, or maybe doing a stretch and mobility class, or maybe doing a recovery session. So at the end of the day, corporate professionals are time poor. They don't have a lot of time for going to the gym on a regular basis. And a lot of them don't feel comfortable training on their own. So PT is a big element, and usually twice a week is enough for a lot of people. Mate, I've seen some people will drop $4,000 on their membership. And when I go and look at their visits, some of them might come in 2 times in the year. So obviously all gyms have non-active members. You'd think with a higher price point that would reduce that, but yeah, sometimes when you calculate what people are paying per visit, it might be $150 a visit when you calculate how often they do come in. So the other thing that we've done with the new location is we've extended the hours. So we sort of do 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday to Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday is sort of 6 to 6. So a lot of investment bankers might come in at 8:30 at night time. So, and that's the only, and then they'll go back to the desk and trade. Or then, others that are trading the US markets will come in at 5 a.m. of a morning. They're done by 5:45. They're at the desk by 6:30. You know what I mean? So because of this, it sort of spreads out the load. The other thing with gyms is you usually have your peak times. You have your mornings and then your evenings, where being in the CBD and having people with more flexible, regimes, because they're at a senior level. We have people coming at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 1, 2. It's a constant flow of people. So you never get that sort of, morning. The morning is more of a rush, but you might have 20 people on the gym floor, right? Where there's still no issue getting on a squat rack, getting on a cardio piece of equipment. And as I said, 9 a.m. might be just as busy as sort of 7 a.m., where I've worked at a gym where we had 10,500 members, and 9 a.m. you walk in, then there's no one. You know what I mean? So I think that's really helped spread the load and spread the flow of people. And that's why I think, we could probably get to that 650 to 700 members and still be very comfortable. But we'll see. If it gets too busy, too crowded, we're definitely not going to keep bringing people on. We want it so you walk in, because that's a big concern to members. As you say, you're paying a premium. You want to know that you can get on equipment, you can get in a sauna, you're not lining up. So it is a big concern of ours, and we will make sure that won't happen.
So we got the membership builder here. It's around 100 a week for membership. You pay in full, saving about 20%. Looks like you charge another 28 a week, and you can get a locker and like a laundry service. So like you leave your dirty clothes and you come back and it's all nice and clean for you.
Exactly. Yep. So you get your personal locker. We do the laundry in-house. We have a laundry service. Our concierge team, as soon as you finish your workout, you have your own laundry bag with your number on it, your number and your name, number of your locker, and your name on it. They put in the laundry chute, we wash it, fold it, put it back in your locker that evening. So that's a nice little service where people they can just come dressed in their suit. They don't need their bag. They keep their sneakers, their toiletries, and a couple of sets of gym clothes in their lockers. And then that's all you need to do.
And then it's like another $145 for a 45-minute personal training session, which is that's a juicy rate. Is there any other add-ons? So like reformers, that's included in your normal membership, or is there other stuff that you sell for?
No, everything's included. The only other add-ons would be remedial massage or osteo or something like that. But everything, yeah. So they're the only add-ons. The membership does give you full access to everything, and you do get initial movement screening and scan. We take you through a posture analysis screening. It's not a strenuous sort of screening test. It's more seeing where you're at, how your body moves, and what you need to do to overcome this, or improve your overall health and wellness. Really.
And how does the personal training work? Do you sell, like, do you give away a free session like Equinox? How are you getting people in there, and is it a substantial part of your revenue?
It is a substantial part of our revenue. It's about 50% of our revenue, although membership, now that it's grown a little bit more, would be probably, 65%. In the new year, we really want to get that so it's 50-50. That's the goal. In terms of personal training, it's interesting because we're actually currently changing this. We used to give everyone an initial movement screening and scan, and then what you'd find is this is only really beneficial if you are going to go down the route of getting a PT. Obviously, a scan's going to give you a good idea: your bone density, muscle mass, body fat percent, hydration, metabolic rate, how many calories you should be consuming on a daily basis, etc. That's cool. Everyone should know that, right? But in terms of faulting exactly what's going on with your body, you got no dorsiflexion, plantar flexion in your ankle, you got bad internal external rotation through your shoulder, all that kind of stuff is, if you don't know what the next step is in terms of programming for that or how to overcome that, then it's useless to that individual unless they're going to seek help, right? So what we're currently doing now is, people that come in and show interest for PT, obviously we give them that straight away. It's an initial 60-minute consultation. It's complimentary. It's on their house. As soon as they do that and they see how in-depth this goes and the type of screening process you don't usually get from other gyms, and this is something that SOMA's designed. Frank and my business partners put a lot of work into this. It's quite unique for us. They can really see the benefit in it. I think a lot of people have been scarred by personal training, in the past, and a lot of especially older people are like, I don't want a 20-year-old telling me to do this and do that and don't know how to, know what my limits are. This is why the screening is also very important. Goal setting, medication, what are you on, any sorts of illness, injuries, etc. Now we're just introducing, which is a formula that's been used for a long time in gyms, is more like a 3-session starter pack, introductory pack, something like that. So this is more for people that I'm thinking about PT. I'm a bit on the fence of PT, but, I've had a trainer before, didn't really like it. So that's why I don't want to commit to 12 weeks up front, because that's what our minimum commitment is for personal training, or it's a 12 pack of personal training, which is just under $2,000. So it's a bit of a commitment, right? So this is going to be priced at around $330, $350. So it's not like it's super cheap, because I don't want to attract people that are just trying to get a couple of, cheap 3 sessions out of it and try to take as much as they can out of it. It's not for that as well. It's for people that are serious about it, but just want to get a taste. Is it for me? Is it not for me? So it still needs to be priced at a certain level where they're not going to just sort of, take the piss and take a couple of cheap sessions and then see you later. It's for people that are serious about it, but just not too sure. But usually, so we've been testing this method just the last couple of weeks, and I'd say 90% of people that have signed up for it have continued to do it. So and as I said, this has been around for many, many years. In a lot of gyms, they give you this as a, starter pack to build up PTs.
Yeah, how is John kind of asked some of the questions here about your offers and getting people to sign up for different services, but what is your approach to marketing? I find it hard to believe you're, going on Facebook and being like, looking for 5 CEOs in the CBD area who are looking to lose weight in the next 90 days, right? Like, so how do you market for a gym like this?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. We did use a company called Gym Launch in America. You guys heard of Gym Launch?
We are familiar.
Yeah, okay. We got referred this company about, I don't know, say 2 years ago. When they started, talking to us about it, we're getting one-on-one interaction, and we're like, okay, this is cool. Then all of a sudden we're in a meeting room with sort of 10 other people, and it was just a plug in and play method. So all the ads are created in America for very much, I'd say, smaller CrossFit style gyms in America. We were like, well, but none of the branding's on point for us. It's clearly these pictures are American pictures. Like, it's not for what we need to do. And they're like, don't worry about it. It'll be fine. You just do it. Thousands of lead, costs you heaps of money. I got nothing out of it. Completely waste of time and money. So, as you say, a lot of our demographic aren't really on social media. So at the end of the day, we've tried a lot of different marketing techniques, Facebook ads, social media ads. I think LinkedIn would be more for our demographic of people, but then not many people use it as a way of marketing. It's not really known for marketing, and it can be quite expensive to market through LinkedIn. So really the number one search would be through your website, so through Google. So SEO or Google AdWords, we do put a little bit of money into that just to increase your ranking when people are searching. But if you look for what people are searching for, it's best gyms in Sydney CBD, luxury gyms, high-end gyms, clean gyms, best personal trainers, that type of stuff is what people are sort of searching for. And then that's when we come up and they find us. So in terms of marketing at the moment, we don't spend much money at all. We're just putting a little bit of money into our AdWords. We're going to start doing some SEO in the new year, and that's about it really. We've got a website which we're in the middle of rebuilding, or not from scratch, but from doing up a bit. And a lot of it's word of mouth now. Word of mouth is priceless. You can't beat that. So also being in the CBD, people, different corporations inquire about doing some, classes or, memberships for the top tier people in their firm, or some people buy 300 passes that they will hand around, give each people in their office 5 passes to use. So all that kind of stuff just gets the word out, and it just takes a little bit of time, obviously. But yeah, I think social media for us isn't big at all.
Yeah. So like, how do you systematize it sounds like referrals is a good chunk of it, right? How do you systematize that, especially if you're going to think about SOMA Singapore, SOMA London? You got to have a plan to fill up a place with 600 members. So yeah, I'm just curious if it's evolved, right? You've tried different things, but yeah, is there a way you're systematizing referrals, I guess?
Look, we always incentivize people that bring on referrals, and that will always change. We'll sort of tweak that to, what would you like? Would you like, 2 weeks free membership? There's a couple $100 as for a referral, or would you prefer a personal training session or a program, or it might be a gift set of, skincare products or whatever it is, or it might be a massage or something like that. So a lot of the time people are just sort of happy to bring in their partners or, their kids, or just say, just happy to refer, friends, just out of, the benefit of their own heart at the end of the day. So we don't really push it that much. We don't really send out, we used to, but we don't so much now. But I think at the end of the day, it's kind of like the being on Google and just being up there would have to be number one for us. But if we were to go, as you say, Singapore or London or expand or something like that, I think we would definitely do things a little bit differently now. But in terms of doing pre-sales and getting the word out there more, I think for us, we've got a good PR company, and they've given us quite a lot of media, and that also helps. Once you get the media out there, we've been in quite a lot of good magazines, and
Men's Health and things like
Men's
that.
Health, Australian Financial Review. There's been some, CEO magazine. There's been some good articles, and that just really helps get it on your website, get the word out there. People, read about it and get interested through that as well. So that has been a good way of marketing through PR.
Teo, did you see the Men's Health video? It's with your boy Con Porter.
I did. Of course I saw this. I saw this.
So Teo applied to a job at my gym right out of school, and the person that he was competing against for the job was none other than Mr. Con Porter himself. So,
oh, no way.
Teo ended up getting the job, but
Fun little
it looks
fact.
like it worked out well for Con Porter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Con's
think
doing
Mike-
great. I'm doing great. We're
yeah.
all doing great.
Yeah, it was traveling the world now doing this series for Men's Health about all like the best gyms around the world. So that'd be a pretty cool job for him to do.
Yeah, there we go. So, how did you guys get this open? It required a ton of money for even the initial build out. It required even more money for when you moved. How did you scrape the money to put together such an ambitious project like this?
Look, it was a funny experience. Actually, we came up with the concept, and then we're like, okay, now the banks wouldn't give you any money. Being a startup business, we didn't really want to get an investor. We wanted to do it on our own. So we were doing around 50 to 60 PT sessions ourselves a week as PTs for the previous gym we were working at as sole traders. So we were saving. We both bought apartments, so we had a little bit of equity in our apartments. We refinanced our loans, and we pulled together, I don't know, about $800,000. And then when you started to tell people this is what we want to do, real estate agents and landlords and stuff like that, a lot of them just laugh at you and go, yeah, cool, of course, yeah, no worries. And then you didn't really get anywhere. So it was when we came across this spot in Chifley Tower, because the rent on that space is $500,000 a year, right? So that's a lot of rent, right? And then the fit out. And then the landlord at the time, the building manager really wanted this concept. He thought it was unique, it was different, hadn't really been done in big office towers before. And he thought it would really work and align. So we said, well, we need money. We got a 10-year lease. We somehow negotiated about a 35 to 40% incentive. So when you've got a high rent like that, and then you calculate it on a weekly basis and you times it by 10 years, and then you take sort of 35, 40% of that, they ended up giving us around just over $1 million. So we were very fortunate, because it's pretty hard to get deals like that anymore. Usually they would give you 50% of that as rental abatement over your 10 years, and then 50% of that is cash, right? Where we pretty much said we need all cash. Well, this isn't going to work. Then you got to come up with a 6-month bank guarantee for your deposit. And then that's a lot of money too. And then we're like, we don't have that much. We'll give you, a couple of months, and then we put our houses on the line, our apartments on the line. So if we couldn't pay it, you take our house effectively. So we put everything on the line. We ended up nearly getting through the build, and we ran out of money. And I said to the guy, I said, mate, I need another $350,000 or we can't open it. And he said, well, you have to go get a loan. And I said, no one will give us a loan. So he came back and he said, I'll give you $250,000 and I'll lend you $150,000 or $100,000, something like that. I said, beautiful, done. So we were very fortunate to have a very understanding.
This was the landlord?
This is the landlord. The funny thing
Wow.
is, this building is managed by a local Australian company, but it's owned by the Singaporean government, right? So they have a lot of money. They didn't really sort of care too much or look into it too much, where exactly it was all going. So as I said, at the end of the day, we were very fortunate, because now you're trying to get a deal like that, it's nearly impossible. So I think it was good timing and good luck, to be honest. And then when we moved into the new location, because of the inconvenience in breaking our lease sort of 6 years early, we had a lot of going back and forth, because this is the new people that had bought the building, right? And I was saying, well, usually when you hit year 4, year 5, you should be going into your golden years of starting making some money. And I was like, well, now you're kicking us out and I have to start again, right? So we went back and forth, and we ended up getting, I think, around $1.8 million payout from the landlord, which is quite a decent amount of money. So that obviously helped contribute to $3.2 million, but then the rest of the money had to come out of our own pockets. So unfortunately, even though it's been a good year in terms of, memberships and growth, we did have to sort of start from the beginning again and reinvest a lot of money back into it. And we did buy more equipment for this new space as well. So we got a few new ranges from Booty Builder range, some more techno gym stuff. So that has set us back. But I think next year should be a good year for us in terms of revenue.
But where did the other couple million come from?
Well,
No, it would have been two.
The
It
new
would have been-
landlord gives you an incentive as well.
Oh, I
right?
see. Got you. Okay. Yeah.
So
All right.
they gave us, I think, about a 35% incentive. So we got quite a good deal with them as well, because we sort of we were going between two sites. And as I said, we went for the site that was next to the Sofitel. And so we were leading them on, but then we're saying, no, we don't want it anymore. And they were quite bummed out. So they were like, oh God. And then we said, all right, give us a good deal and we'll take it. That's when we'd already invested money into the Sofitel. We had 40 grand deep in design. And I said, give me a good deal and I'll pull this and I'll come over. They ended up giving us about just under $2 million. So 50% of that went to rental abatement. So, over the 10 years, you might get about, a couple grand a week off your rent. And then the rest, obviously, they gave us as cash, and then that went into the fit out. So between the two landlords, it paid for a lot of it. And then obviously us throwing in, probably $500,000 cash as well. We got there.
And are you paying around like $500,000 a year at the new space?
A little bit less, I'd say. Maybe it's about 375 a year due to your sort of rental abatement as well. So it does bring it down a bit. It's not bad. It's Sydney. It's expensive. It's a CBD. It is what it is, right?
Yeah, people don't realize how insanely expensive Sydney's housing market is, and rent.
It's crazy.
And it's like up there with New York, San Francisco, London.
It is.
It is nuts how expensive it is over there.
Hey, gym owners, are you looking for a way to generate more leads, close more sales, and increase client retention? Introducing Kilo. We are a software company that gives gym owners the tools they need to increase revenue and run a successful gym. With Kilo, you get a beautifully designed website to capture more leads, an integrated marketing automation platform to increase sales, and our gym management software so you can add new client memberships, process payments, and organize your class schedule. If you're ready to upgrade your gym management software, book a call at usekilo.com.
So you went all in, opened up your space, got kicked in the shins from COVID, had to shut down, got opened up, and then had to go all in again, move the space, start over from scratch. And now this is like year 2 of the second time around, right? Like it's crazy.
Yeah. Exactly. And then after COVID, we're pretty much in the economy had crashed, and there's inflation and there's interest rate hikes, and people can't afford, fancy gym memberships. Like even people with money, that is even like, you've got a $10 million house, your mortgage has all of a sudden gone up $2,000 a week or $1,500 a week. So something has to give. So, and we felt that, it might go from someone having a trainer 3 times a week to once a week, not too bad. But then obviously people were paying $800 to $1,000 a week rent. Now all of a sudden you're paying $1,300 to $1,400 rent for the same apartment, just because the person that owns the apartment, their interest rates have tripled. So it all gets passed down. So that definitely hurt as well. But again, I think being in that top tier market, tapping into the people, because a lot of these people don't even have mortgages. Their houses are paid off, right? Some of these guys are on $3, $4, $5 million a year. So obviously that's not going to affect them too much. So having that type of clientele membership base, that didn't hurt us as much. And now people are coming back into the CBD. I'd say the last 6 months, I'm getting a lot more people coming in saying, so what have you been doing? What do you do for your health, your wellness, your fitness? I haven't done anything since COVID. And I mean, how long ago was COVID, right? These people are only just getting back into fitness now since COVID. And, a lot of people were scared. I don't want to go to a gym. There's germs, there's sweat, there's everything there. Like, easier place to catch COVID. So, but now people are coming back into the CBD sort of 4 to 5 days a week. and it's become back to the norm now. People want that interaction. They're sick of working at home. I mean, if you're working at home for 3 years, it's quite a long time. If you've got family, if you've got kids, etc., you need that separation. You need time for yourself. You need routine. You need discipline. You want to go into a gym. You know, it's rather than just working out in your basement or something. It just gets boring. It's tedious. So people need community, they need interaction, and they need sort of structure to their day. And I'm seeing that coming back now in a big way. And even next year is even going to be bigger, because a lot of the CEOs of companies, they're old school, right? These are guys 60, 70 years old. They're like, you know, this has all got to change. This is bullshit. Get back into the office, get back at your desk, come into the meeting room. If you're going to evolve and upskill as a person and get somewhere in your career, you need to be in here showing your face, showing me how you're doing the work, not working from home where you can sort of, you know, go and do your shopping or go out and have a swim and no one will know about it. That's not going to get you places in life. So all this is changing, which is good for the economy and good for local businesses.
So I read in another interview you gave that, speaking of COVID, you used the lockdown time to retool some things and improve some things about the business. What did you change, or what did you learn, or what are things that you think other gym owners could benefit from that time of, literally having to open this gym like 2, 3 times, 4 times, or even just from your past experiences in, you working the yachts? Like, what are some things you think some other people could learn?
I think a lot of it sort of obviously just came down to hygiene and sort of systems and processes within the business. So, you know, from people checking in, signing in, filling out waivers, you know, at the beginning we're making sure, are you vaccinated? Because that was a law in Australia, you had to be vaccinated to come in. So, you know, we were checking that. We spaced the equipment out. We put signs all over the floor to make sure people were, you know, keeping their certain distance. We would make sure not too many people would come into the club at once, so we would cap that. We created stations with sanitary stations all over the gym, which a lot of the time we already had in place, because we wanted to, at the beginning, our concept was to be extremely clean, hygienic. We got different sorts of, we had cleaners coming in twice a day. So I think we just really upped our standards, and we trained our personal trainers, our concierge, that they would carry wipes around with them. They'd carry sprays. We got like different sorts of gym sanitary bottles and everything to keep around. So at the end of the day, people just felt safe and, you know, and feel like, okay, I'm coming in here. I'm not going to get COVID. I'm being looked after. And I think that's just kind of stuck and stayed with us in terms of, a lot of people feel that gyms can be a little bit dirty, or germ environments, especially if you have a little bit of that sort of phobia. So when you come to a nice, clean place and you see the concierge going around and, you know, doing their sweeps and their cleans, and seeing the cleaners come around, and even getting the trainers to be involved as well, all that sort of stuff just reinforces it in people's minds that it's clean, it's safe, I feel comfortable here. And that, again, as you said, it comes from a background of working in kitchens and fine dining restaurants. And at the end of the day, you'd get drilled into you, straight away, as you're only as good as how clean your station is, really. You can't work in a messy environment. So you go in, you want everything in order, you want everything to be prepped, you want everything to be clean. And then at the end of the day, that's going to give you a much better service, a much better experience for everyone, right? So that sort of background did help implement this into the gym industry for sure.
So Simon, man, this has been awesome. Really interesting peek into a gym doing much larger numbers on the expense side and probably the revenue side than the average listener here. If people want to follow along with your journey, where do they go to find you, man?
So just jump on our Instagram would be the biggest thing to follow us. So SOMA Health and Wellness, and we create posts on I'd say every sort of second day. We usually do daily stories. We try to, a lot of our members don't like filming in the gym, and we do have to be careful about that as well, because we do have some private people, and we do respect their privacy, obviously. But at the end of the day, we still try to disclose, as much as we can, and you can see our teachers and our trainers, and just exactly what we do and how we go about it. And hopefully in the new year we're going to look at expanding, and whether that's, I think for us now we're really thinking about going down the route of recovery more so than gyms. We see a big market in recovery. We're looking into different types of bathhouse, Roman bathhouse style stuff, incorporating that with recovery, potentially combining that with gyms, or maybe we're just going to build some SOMA sort of bathhouse, SOMA recovery and bathhouse. I think we're still planning. We still like obviously being in the gym industry. I think with a lot of gyms, to sort of make money out of gyms, you need to have sort of 6, 7. You need a lot of them because there's not a big profit margin. With us being able to charge a little bit more, it's not something that we want to, have that many. We want to keep a boutique. We want to keep a premium. We want to have that sort of that niche of being different. So I think for us, it's sort of expanding in a way where our clientele and members can get something else from our services. And that's what we're trying to look to do now. So I think people like the community. They like the recovery, being in a nice, a nice dimmed room, being in a sauna, being in a magnesium cold plunge. And we're thinking of trying to expand on that experience and really sort of enhance that experience. And even somewhere where they can just chill out and, and work and stuff like that. So let's see let's see what next year brings. But yeah, jump on our social media to follow us for sure.
We're looking forward to the follow-up show for the SOMA Bathhouse.
Yeah, for sure.
And Teo, where do people go if they want to find us?
Just go to usekilo.com. It's the best way. Book a call with someone to see how we can help you grow your gym with our amazing suite of products and services.
Thank you, Teo. And Simon.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Simon.
Back to you. Thank you all. No, and Gym World, we appreciate you as always. It is hard digging through the depths of the internet to find Simon out in Australia doing his thing, coming up with a cool take on a concept, getting him on the show, coordinating 15-hour time differences. So if you like this, share it with a gym owner in need and subscribe. We appreciate you. We love you as always, and we will catch you next week. See you later. And Simon, thank you.
Cheers, guys. Good to chat.